Hi, I'm Josh, and this is Cars and Joshy. Alright, I'm back at it this morning. Got up early before work and took an orbital sander to this thing. Sanded off most of the paint that I can get to. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this steel that I have. And this is the cap used to go in here. I'm just going to trace that small end, cut out some circles here, weld it, close this off so I can have something to, weld some braces to this if I need to. That's how I'm going to attach it to the frame when I get the frame built. So I'm going to need a solid surface to attach it to. So last night I went to go ahead and put the axle kit together to mock it up and realized that the kit didn't come with hardware for the bearing hangers. So I ran to the hardware store today on my lunch break and got some nuts and bolts and some washers for the bearings. And then I also picked up a 5/16-24 bolt for the Predator crank. So that's what that one's for. So tonight we'll go, oh yeah, I also picked up 1/4 inch key stock because there's not enough key stock in the kit to go through for all the locking sleeves and stuff that they have for this. So I picked up some more. I don't know, I'll cut it to fit, but I'm gonna go ahead and get the axle assembled. Alright, I got the axle assembled, and the way I did it is I've got the hub on. It's got a snap ring on the front side on the end, and then it's got this lock collar that I tightened down to keep the hub from sliding in. This doesn't need any collars to hold it down because it's going to be welded to the frame. The sprocket has 2 lock collars, one on each side to keep it in place. Again, with this hanger, it's going to be welded to the frame, another lock collar, and then a hub. I think I'm at a point now I can start making the frame and laying out my square tubing, seeing how I'm gonna build this frame. So for the frame, I have an 8-inch, 12-inch, and an 8-inch, and then going down the side is 14 inches, and then the same on the back side. So what I did, 8, 8, and 12, 16 and 12, I did a 28-inch section, cut off 28 inches from one of my 6-foot sections. I marked out 22.5 degrees, 22.5 degrees, used the bandsaw over there to kind of cut this out. And what I'm going to try and do, get that little piece out, stick something down in here, and bend it. That should give me my 135 degree angle right here, and I'll do that twice, and then I'll have that whole section as one piece, and I can just weld around that bend, and then I can make 2 of those for the back. Then I just need a straight piece here, straight piece there, and the rest of it is all just straight pieces. So should be good on that. So let me go ahead and try and get this chunk out and bend it. Yeah, it came out pretty easy using this little chisel and a pair of pliers. Just pulled it out. So now that's what it looks like. I'm gonna chuck it in the vise, put something in the end here, see if I can't bend it. It's probably overkill for what I need to bend 1/8 inch square tubing, but we'll see if it does the job. Oh, look at that. I just need to tack that together and I think we'll be good. Let me go see how close that matches my foam board. Yeah, I'd say that method worked out pretty good. I got a little bit off right here, but I think I can bring that back into alignment. I just need to cut this at an angle that'll meet up with that next piece. But yeah, I just need a second piece just like that for the back here, that piece, and then just connect them together with a straight piece. So continuing on. Here we go. I got the basic frame kind of laid out and got it cleaned up, the ends cleaned up, so I'm gonna start tacking it together here. I'm gonna check the angles on these two because they look a little bit off. I'm gonna lay them over top of each other and make sure they're at the exact same angles before I start tacking anything. I want to add this section onto the back so I can have something to lift up from to load it into like the bed of the truck, and then I've got this small section up here to go up to the actual forks. I got the base frame mostly welded up, so I'm going to start adding on the sections for the rear for the handle so I can lift this in the bed of my truck, and up front to give me a little bit more spacing there for the seat before I put the front wheel on. Okay, so the frame is almost finished. I've got a couple pieces. That's going to be the plate for the engine. And that's going to be plate for the seat. So I've got to weld those in, and then I can drill holes in them where I need to mount the engine and the seat. Got the plates put in for the engine and the seat. Down to the last couple of steps, get those bearing hangers welded on and mark the holes, cut some holes out for mounting the engine and the seat there. Well, it's coming along. I don't think I'm gonna get it all done by the weekend, which is what I was hoping, but I don't have far to go. I have this disc brake set up right here, and this is the caliper. This is a manual brake setup, so try and get this on here. Just goes on like that, and then I'm gonna have a lever that goes from here right up to right next to the seat, so I can pull back on it. Pull back on the lever, it'll clamp down on this rotor here and apply the rear brakes. But I need to be able to mount this, so what I'm thinking is I may even just weld some nuts on the inside of this, on the inside of this bracket there. That way I can bring a little angle bracket over here and just put a bolt straight through there onto the back of this and have it mounted up like that. But that's all the square tubing I have left, and I don't think I have enough because I got to build this bracket, I got to build the handbrake, and then I've got to build the foot pegs that kind of come out and go out to the footrests there. Got my disc brake caliper bracket mounted right here, so I'm actually thinking about running a bike cable from the handlebar down and coming back and tying into here, putting some kind of bracket right here so that when I squeeze the cable it pulls back on it instead of doing a handbrake, because this side is the same side as the throttle is going to be, so I don't want to have to worry about messing with the throttle and doing the handbrake on the same hand. One more piece of the puzzle is done. I got the seat plate put in here. I had to add an extra support brace and then weld another plate in there for the seat because I had to move it back some. So I got that done. I need to go and pick up some carriage bolts from the hardware store, but I put this one in there just as kind of a placeholder. But I don't want hex head bolt sticking up out of here. It's not going to feel too good riding around on. But so yeah, that piece is done. I've been trying to think of a more aesthetically pleasing way to do the front here. I was thinking about doing something with angles coming in like this, but I don't want to have to deal with this round piece and rounding out the square tubing to weld onto there. So I think I'm just going to do two straight pieces and weld the flat sides straight up against here flush, but I'm going to cut the ends of it at an angle so that I can come out with the foot pegs and I can weld the foot pegs at an angle on this side. Okay, here it is, pretty much how it's gonna be. I had 18 feet of 1-inch square tubing, and all I have left is this right here. These are about 3 inches, so I got about 6 inches left out of everything, those 18 feet. And I didn't have enough. This is a 19-inch piece with a 72.5 angle cut out here and a 40-degree angle cut out right here. That's gonna be my foot peg. So I'm gonna have to order another piece of 1-inch square tubing to finish that off. But I'm just gonna go ahead and weld that to there, and then I'm gonna have that little gusset right there welded in, and I'm going to weld it to the actual bottom of this down tube right here. I appreciate you guys watching the channel. I hope you enjoyed this little build here while the El Camino is in the shop. Like I said, this is going to be an accessory. This is going to roll around with the El Camino, all the car shows and events that I go with, and we'll take everything, strip everything down, and have the frame kind of powder coated to match the El Camino. Next video, yeah, should be able to start it up and roll it around. Hopefully the weather will be nice by then, but I'm going to try and get a full parts list of all the cuts that I made with the steel, the plates, and all that stuff. I'll try and get that in the video. It's kind of hard to track that throughout the whole process, because I had, you know, some cuts here and there that I didn't think about, and I added some more. So I started good at the beginning tracking all of that, then it kind of got away from me, but now I'm going back and I'm trying to make it all right, because I haven't seen anywhere with like a full parts list and cuts of how somebody did a drift trike frame. But I'm gonna go ahead and put what I did in the description, a full list of cuts and everything, or I might just show it on the video as a picture or something. I don't know yet. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks for watching Cars and Joshy. Josh out.